Hey kid, what are you doing? Are you bored and in need of a cool new hobby? Well, never fear, because I have just the thing. Would you be interested in starting a manga collection? But you don't have any idea what a manga collection is, do you? Well, okay then, here's what to do. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I have a bit of an instructional video for you in terms of how to start a manga collection, what the best series are to kind of kick off your new collection and your new hobby, and some little tips and tricks that I've learned through the years through collecting manga on what to do and what not to do. So step one is easy. Step one is to select the first manga series that you want to check out. Now, I say that's easy, for some it's not, but I think if you're looking to start a manga collection, you probably already have a rough idea of what series you want to start with. So here are my kind of recommendations, based on personal preference for what I think you guys might enjoy if you're brand new to manga and you've never read anything before. So it's pretty easy, I would say. If you're new to manga, you want to check out what I would call the shonen starter pack. So these are the kind of big shonen titles that everyone has read or should read. And I think if you go on the Shonen Jump app, which is a really great platform, they have the first initial chapters of pretty much every Shonen Jump series that has ever been released, at least in English. So I would have to recommend for new beginners to the manga hobby that you would check out the big three. So that would be One Piece, Naruto and Bleach, and then maybe a couple of slightly older ones. So I would go with Dragon Ball Z / Dragon Ball and Yu Yu Hakusho, and then those are all kind of like battle shonen, so they're very like action-packed, action-heavy series. But if you want something a little bit more kind of intellectual, but also in a similar kind of mainstream demographic, then of course I would have to say Death Note should be a great port of call for you. Now, if action's not your style and you're more into romance, then a couple of series that I've reviewed in the past and some that I'm currently reading that I think are well worth checking out would be My Love Story, Yona of the Dawn, Cardcaptor Sakura, and of course Sailor Moon. So they're all slightly more cutesy, more romance based, and some of them have still got quite a bit of adventure and magic behind them if you prefer kind of a mixture of both of those genres. Now, for those of you who are a bit older and perhaps don't want something that's kind of cliche battle shonen type stuff, then I'm gonna have to recommend just authors to you guys. So I would check out anything by Inio Asano, anything by Naoki Urasawa, anything by Junji Ito, and finally my personal favorite, anything by Shuzo Ishimi. All of these authors are pretty different, but if you do a little bit of research, you could probably find out what their most popular series are, and all of them are fantastic, so you can't go wrong there. Mostly, I think what's most important with step one is if you're looking to pick a new series, it's picking something that you like. So with anything, with any recommendation, these are all recommendations that I would give out because I enjoyed them. But I know for a fact there's things that other people really love and will recommend in the comments that I don't personally like. So I think the Shonen Jump app is a really great platform to kind of test the waters with some new series. If you're completely new to manga and anime and things like that, and you've never heard of any of these things, then go and download the Shonen Jump app, have a look at what's most popular. I think the first 3 chapters of all the series are free, so you can get a feel for what it is you might be interested in buying physically. Which brings me to step 2, which is always buy as cheaply as possible. So with any hobby, it can be really expensive. I've bought a lot of manga over the years. I've spent a lot of money on manga over the years, but the one thing that I try and stick to is I will try and buy in some sort of deal or in a pre-owned format, but that's personal preference. So some people like brand new, some people don't mind pre-owned. I think it depends on the quality of the actual item and who you're buying it off and how well they've looked after it. So with eBay and with anything like that, Facebook Marketplace, just be careful. Don't get, ripped off on, and make sure you see pictures of the items before you buy them, obviously. Here we have a store called Forbidden Planet. They do really, really great 3-for-2 deals on all manga. So, that saved me quite a lot of money in the past. There's also great sites like Wordery, Book Depository, and World of Books, to name a few. They all regularly kind of have sales. They'll have like discount codes online, so if you can do a bit of background research, you can find some discount codes. I know in America there's sometimes a Viz Media sale that they can ship directly from their website, and Barnes and Noble sometimes have sales and things like that. It's just use common sense. I think if you can save money, you can ultimately buy more manga and collect more, and that's kind of the end goal, I suppose. I will say this though, if you're unsure as to what's a good deal, just ask someone you trust, friends, or even drop me a message, or any of the kind of MangaTube guys, and we'll sort of steer you in the right direction. I think there's many times where I've thought, oh, this looks like pretty sweet, I can get all of this for this amount, and someone said to me, nah, you can find the volume separately cheaper somewhere else. So just use common sense and ask around if you're not sure, and everyone in this community is really helpful, and we're sure to help you out. So if any of you are having troubles like that, just comment down below and I'll help you as best I can. Okay, step 3 is really, really important, and that is to limit the amount of series that you buy. I know with anything, like with collecting, it's really easy to get wrapped up in the sheer amount of stuff. Even in those recommendations in the beginning, I would say all of them are worth reading, and it can be really, really easy to just fall into the trap of, I'm going to buy this, and I'm going to buy this, and I'm going to buy the first volume of this, and it becomes more of a chore and a bit of an addiction if you don't kind of tame it and keep it under control. So what I would advise is that you buy no more than kind of like 4 series at once. I tend to say 3 is a good number. So I have like 3 series on the go that I will buy like regular volumes for. Sometimes I lose track and I'll buy, other stuff. It happens, don't beat yourself up about it, but I would advise that you buy 3 series at a time and try and keep up to date with those and collect those, and contain it that way. And then if you're not enjoying one of those series, it's very easy to unhaul that, to sell it to a friend or on eBay or something like that and start a new one. But I think a lot of people run into the trouble of they have 10 or 20 series with only like 2 or 3 volumes, and that can make it more expensive if you're buying 20 new volumes every month or every other month, but also you don't really enjoy the story. I don't find that I enjoy a story if I have a lot of things on the go. If anything, I kind of prefer to find bulk buys online. If I go on eBay, I can find an entire series or the first 20 volumes of a series. I will buy it all, I'll binge it, and if I don't like it, I'll unhaul it. I find that that's the best practice, so that you don't kind of fall into that trap of having lots of things on the go. Another thing as well is to kind of like, it helps you maintain the quality of your collection. You don't want everything and anything, and you don't particularly love any of it. What you own you should love, and if you don't love it, you should definitely get rid of it. Again, if you're unsure as to what to buy, then just test the waters with Shonen Jump, or if it's not on Shonen Jump, then there are other means to get chapters online, but you didn't hear that from me. But as long as you buy the manga and support the artist, then I don't think things like that are too detrimental. Just don't tell OnTheShelf I said this. Okay, almost like step 3.5, I suppose, is when buying manga, don't ever compare your collection to anyone else's. I have a lot of manga, but I've been collecting for a long time, and I don't think anyone should ever make you feel bad for the amount that you have, because that can in turn make you feel like you should be buying more, which can have a really negative impact on your wallet and your mental health. As long as you're enjoying what you're reading, then everything's fine. Step 4 is a little tip about out of print series. So you'll hear a lot of people on Reddit and on Twitter talking about how something's out of print, so it's really rare and really expensive. This is true, but it does not necessarily make it good. So I own quite a few out of print series, and there's a few that I'm currently buying that are going out of print or are out of print. This just means that the publisher kind of sucks at keeping up to date with stuff. Sometimes they'll just fall off and stop printing it altogether, so it suddenly becomes this rare novelty. Other times it can be because it's not particularly well received, it might have come out at the wrong time, not many people bought it, and then they've later discovered how good it is, and subsequently it's impossible to buy volumes. So if you hear someone advertising something for sale that is out of print, do your research, find out if it's actually something that you want to own and if it's worth the money, and don't fall into the trap of just paying an extortionate amount because it's out of print. I have a couple of series, and Planetes is one of them, where one of the volumes was really difficult to get hold of. It was out of print. Someone tried to sell me the volume for, I think, like £80 for one volume, which I would never pay. Don't ever do this. So I said, no, I don't want to do that. And then lo and behold, a few months later, Dark Horse reprinted it. So it's always possible. Same with Hellsing. I don't own it, but it is out of print in the single volumes. But Dark Horse are now doing a deluxe edition, which you can buy. So, you know, don't cut your nose to spite your own face and waste your money on something just because other people think that it's good or because it's rare. Just buy what you like and, you know, maybe save that money. You know, that £80 can buy a lot more other volumes, so be clever. And for obvious reasons, I have to say that, you know, if spending becomes a problem and you're buying much more than you're reading and you're not enjoying it, then, you know, seek help. This can be a bit of a slippery slope with anything, with any collecting hobby. So if it stops being fun, then stop altogether and, you know, ask for help from a friend or from a family member. Okay, and step 5 is just enjoy your manga. Try and not just get bogged down in collecting, and try and read it. You know, I have lots of things that I haven't read yet, and that's just because I don't have the time. But, you know, because of that, I'm not necessarily buying as much as I used to be. So I think it's important to just take the time to enjoy what you're reading. And if you're not enjoying it, then be sure to get rid of it. And of course, don't let anyone ever make you feel bad for not knowing of a series. If you're new to a hobby, you might not have heard of Naruto, you might never have read One Piece, but that doesn't matter. Like, I would do anything to kind of erase my mind of all of my favorite series and reread them again from, you know, from the beginning as a fresh new reader. So if anything, we should be envious of you guys, and don't let anyone ever make you feel bad for being what's deemed a noob. There's no stupid questions on this channel. If you've got any questions at all, then don't hesitate to ask. So, do you think you're all set to start your first manga collection? Well, that's great. I hope you have the best time, and be sure to like and subscribe.